boundless energy of the Aquarius New Moon, a cosmic event that is a little quiet. It's an interesting moon. It's a little quiet, even with that kind of electric energy of Aquarius as well as Uranus being involved. We're going to talk all about it. I've got the chart, figured out the chart, so super excited to share that with you. And that's not all. Mars is also going to be headed into Aquarius as we get into February. That's going to just kind of add a little spice, a little fuel to the fire, igniting our passions and our drive for change. So we'll talk all about that as well. It's a cosmic alignment that invites all of us to break free from the ordinary and embrace the extraordinary. And this episode promises to empower your cosmic journey and inspire your soul's quest for progress. So we're going to learn the astrology. We're going to stay for the tarot. Got the handy tarot deck here, Morgan Greer in the house. Let's start by cleaning the room closet as we embrace the magic of the Aquarian currents together. So cleaning out the broom closet today, 1:30. It's been a blissfully free day. And really, that is the story from now all the way up until we hit this moon. We have our personal planets, we have them meeting up with Chiron, we have them also kind of getting this energy involvement with the North Node. So that's still very present. There could be some little bit of tension, but it's not fast pace right now. It's not hurry up and get all these things done. It There's kind of a flow and kind of an ebb right now to what's happening in the energy. So on the 31st, Mars and Capricorn will trine. Justice popping out first card. Will trine Juno retrograde in Virgo at 20 degrees 33 minutes. So this Juno in Virgo heading in that retrograde, this justice showing up strong. She is in alignment and here, and Mars in Capricorn. This to me really speaks to what I'm looking at for the rest of the week. So let me go through that and then we'll get into this justice energy. So we've got Mercury then in Capricorn will sextile Neptune in Pisces at 25 degrees 49 minutes on 2-2. So we've got nothing today. Mars in Capricorn trining Juno on the 31st. Nothing on the 1st. On the 2nd, we get that Mercury meeting up with Neptune. On the 3rd, we have nothing. And now we really start to enter into February. We get a little bit more energy. But again, you'll see with this moon, it's very quiet. It's very internal. It's very retrospective. On 2-4, Mercury in Capricorn will sextile Pallas Athena in Scorpio at 29 degrees 36 minutes. That will happen obviously right before he ingresses into Aquarius. So this week we will have Mercury headed into Aquarius. That will be on 2-4. Then on 2-5, Venus in Capricorn. Here's our third personal planet meeting up with Chiron in Aries at 16 degrees 11 minutes. So Venus is trailing behind Mars. She's trailing behind her brother Mercury. She's trailing behind her lover Mars, exactly where she needs to be. And in February is where we get that conjunction between Venus and Mars, where she then catches up in Aquarius and they have a moment, a meetup, that kind of Romeo and Juliet moment, if you will. But Venus first has to get through kind of um what her brother and what her lover's gone through, which is this square to Chiron in Aries, 16 degrees 11 minutes. The same day on the 5th, the sun in Aquarius sextiles Chiron in Aries, 16 degrees 11 minutes, and Mercury will conjunct Pluto in Aquarius at 0 degrees 30 minutes. So this is now also starting after the sun, our personal planet meetups with Pluto. This is starting that process. This is the first of 3. Mercury is going first, Mars will follow, Venus will end. And what that conjunction might look like. We already had the sun, another kind of personal illumination, if you will, in January 20th. And then now we're having, and then they ingressed into Aquarius together. Now we're having our first personal planet. So Justice, coming straight back to this Justice card. I mean, Justice, obviously, it's the number 9. So there's this right before you complete something, right before things get finalized, right before they get completed, right before they go around the circle. I'm thinking of the wheel, and that's what's kind of showing up in my mind's eye for those that know the tarot. Think of the wheel card. There's this moment where justice has to come due, where justice for yourself, taking that stark look, taking that adequate balance of where you're at with everything. There's this feeling, and this is even coming into this moon, there's this feeling that we're on the precipice of something. This to me also ties into our great Chiron eclipse coming up in April. Something is bubbling, something is about ready to open up, something's about ready to come, something's about ready to even out, something's about ready to finalize, something is about ready to change. The wheel is changing. And this is the like this week with this justice here really kind of leading that charge out. It's time to take stock. There's this ability to, all right, we've got this moment, we've got this kind of quiet capacity, we have Chiron, this meetup with Chiron, we have Mercury now in an air sign coming up at the end of this week. We've got these great moments, we've got this great support to truly sit down and go, where am I really at? Where are things around me really at? Do I really want to be where I'm at? I talked about this in my Astrovision 2024 about February. There's this new skin that we're kind of getting into. And I talked about February being a lot about spices. And as we get to that latter half of the month, we get to kind of choose our spice, choose our cooking, choose what we want to concoct going into this, choose how we want to bring about our harvest. There's 1,000 different ways to till, to bring up all of your goods, to till the soil. There's different methods. There's different cultures that do it different ways. There's different reasonings behind all of that. And now it's your opportunity to say, okay, well, but what's right for me? What's right for me? Where do I need to look at things and make those adjustments? Where am I not meeting the mark that I want to be meeting the mark with? This Chiron conversation, the Chiron conversation is so prevalent because when we get to this opening, when we get to the North Node conjunct in February, conjunct Chiron, which we'll talk about in a future Twitchy Tuesday, when we get to the great Chiron eclipse, here is this moment where all of it, 9 of Cups, where all of it opens up, where all of it comes to head. And are you prepared for that? Are you prepared? Both of these are 9s. Are you prepared for the stark clarity? Are you prepared for the emotional upheaval? Are you prepared for what it's going to take to get into that next level? It's bubbling. It's here. You can see it, you can feel it, you know something huge is coming in. Are you the person that can emotionally, strategically bring that forward, land it into the place? And if not, what do you need to do to get ready? Because now's the time to get ready. What types of chirons involved here? What types of wounds are you holding on to? Especially as the sun sextiles right after Venus squares. Venus in Capricorn, all about self mastery and how worth plays into that self mastery. What types of challenging conversations do you need to have with yourself? What types of reality checks do you need to have around your worth, around your values? What illumination can the sun in Aquarius bring about, where the sun in Aquarius can take a different perspective, can kind of lessen some of that emotional turmoil, be more in this justice where it just is what it is. It can help you sort through a lot of this emotional stuff and just go, hey, you know what? I do deserve. I was just having this conversation the other night. It's like, am I anxious? Am I crazy? Am I doing all of these things? Like, what is happening? It's right now, it's tempering and saying, okay, where are you truly at? Where are you truly at? And then how do you move forward from it? How do you acknowledge it? How do you have that awareness and say, yep, I'm good. Or nope, this is what I want to change. And that's kind of the conversations that leading up into February as we get into eclipse season are you're going to see, like, they're going to start to simmer. This Chiron and North Node is really challenging us to let go of the things that are no longer serving us, to move forward into where we're supposed to be. That's all of that challenge. Then you layer on top of it, you have Pluto, brand new in Aquarius, saying, like, let me place this in front of you. Let me see how you act. Let me take some of the concerns that you have and see truly how revolutionary you really are. Let me take what you say and actually challenge you to make sure that when this gift comes down, when this change occurs, it's value add. Because as the universe, here's the Ace of Rods and the Queen of Pentacles, as the universe brings things forward, it needs you to fully show up for it. Queen of Rods, Pentacles, excuse me. It needs you to fully show up for your blessings. It needs you to be a steward of those blessings. Because otherwise, if not, this rod is wasted. Not all the way. That might be a little extreme. Let me own that that might be a little extreme. 'Cause nothing's really wasted. It's all there. But is it at its full potential? Is it exactly what it needs to be? Is it grounded in reality? Is it the ability to actually, like, again, this is a wand, take it forward. Take it forward. This is an Aquarian age. This is Aquarian energy. Take it forward and make it value add to the world around you and the world that you are in, the community that you are in. It's through you all things are possible. There's also knowing that comes out of, I'll kind of put it in this manner. So there's a knowing that comes out of, through you doing your work, allows the universe the ease and grace with which to continue to create those ripples so others can do their work. If I had never made the conscious choice to show up, Queen of Pentacles, to justice, fight my demons, fight fight the witch wound, fight all of the self-doubt, the self-loathing, balance myself out, etc. The gift of astrology, if I didn't own that, I may now not be able to do what I do, and come to find out through all of my path and journey, my son comes from a lineage where astrology was part of their lineage. That's these connection points. I had a choice. I could have chosen never to pick this astrology up. I could have chosen never to get into this. But then my son, that allows my son to have a connection, a place to start, a place to gain more insight and understanding about who he is, who his lineage is, what his ancestors were like, and begin to make changes in his own life that then will ripple out to my soon to be grandchild, his wife, his family, his community around him. This is how we are all interconnected. This is how we're all working for our own, but for the whole at the same time. So that is just kind of a quick, like, how that can all really, it may seem a little simple, but it's hugely impactful. And that's what, like, this journey, like, wow, okay, doing my work, doing the things I know I should be doing, getting the nudges, the justice, understanding that higher perspective, the 9 of Cups, taking on the rod, taking on the baton, moving it forward, standing in my power, having all of my value and worth. All of that makes such a difference, not only in your life, but in the life of others. That's cleaning out the broom closet, getting them skeletons out there. So that's where we sit this week. And as we go into, the rest, we're going to close out January. We're going to head into February. We do have really amazing goddess asteroid energy coming in. We've got amazing supports from 3 of our asteroids, Vesta, Pallas Athena, and Ceres. We'll have Mars headed into Aquarius, which is going to be a whole other level of support. And then we've got this Aquarius new moon kind of, again, setting that stage. So let's kind of break it down. We've got goddess asteroid energy. This is that subtle, you can tap in, you can kind of let those healing vibrations really pass through you. Um, you have the ability to, especially as it interplays, really have the ability to tap into something a little higher. Tap into a different, we talk a lot about the planets. That's why during, what was it? October, maybe even a little earlier of last year, I began to incorporate the asteroids and that goddess energy into it because they do have just a little bit, they're wisdom keepers. They have a little bit extra insight and understanding that can be tapped into, albeit not kind of in the pace, but it does have an energy signature that plays a part in other things. So, for example, Vesta will station direct in Gemini at 21 degrees 45 minutes. When she stations direct, she's going to trine the sun and square Juno retrograde in Virgo. So, Vesta is our goddess asteroid of the divine feminine. That super higher, I mean, this is high priestess energy. This is where our spiritual purpose comes in, our dedication to that spiritual purpose, our service. You think about the archetype of Virgo. Vesta aligns for me of that higher octave of the energy of Virgo. Virgo being the service member, but more Virgo aligns very much so with self. It's in that first 6 zodiac signs, which really ingrain into the self and the eyes. And Vesta ends up being that kind of higher octave where, okay, this isn't just about self anymore. This is about my purpose, having the dedication towards my purpose, towards my feminine energy, and being to service of others. And so being direct in Gemini, again, she'll slow, pause, just like all other planets when they do their retrograde. She'll slow down, she'll pause, and then she'll slowly gain up speed, moving forward and bringing a lot of that energy of the things that she's kind of intuitive and intuitive. That's not what she intuited, I think is the right word I'm looking for, during her retrograde journey as she kind of had some interaction and play. Again, these are more looking out. They have a broader perspective. So now she can help, okay, son, look, you just had a meetup with Chiron. You're about ready to have a whole situation with Pluto. You're now sharing a sign with Pluto. Okay, you're also going to start heading into Jupiter territory. And what is that going to look like? Squaring Jupiter, squaring Uranus. And she can provide that level of, you know what? Keep on pace. Go back to what matters. especially in Gemini, being able to communicate that, communicating what your purpose is, your spiritual purpose, how you're going to dedicate, putting that out in front and saying, you know what, I know that this is right for me. Then we have Pallas Athena, which will head into Sagittarius. So here's our warrior goddess. She is the warrior. She is super courageous. Think about the strength card here. Super courageous, very wisdom, very truth oriented, standing in power, the protector, the one to go to for strategy. And, the understanding that war has to happen. Things have to be broken down in order to be rebuilt. And she's gone through that over and over and over again. She's got this higher perspective. And here in Sagittarius, she can shine. She can super shine because what's Sag all about? Sag is all about that wisdom, that knowledge, that expansion. This is where Pallas Athena can go back and go into the library and read about all of the different things that other, conquerors, warriors, great minds have done in the past and take that information and sift through it in a way that allows you to have the energy to move forward, the confidence to move forward with your strategic plan. Then you have Ceres coming into Capricorn. Ceres is all about self care, how we nourish ourselves, how the foods that we choose to eat and consume, the comforts that we have around us. This is very much the higher octave of Taurus, the higher octave, especially of Venus in Taurus. It's all about our care, all about how we choose to care for ourselves. And in Capricorn, bringing in that energy of the care of the climb. What are you going to need to continue your journey up? How are you going to, when food may be sparse out on the mountain, how are you going to get it? What is your plan for that? Did you bring enough provisions? It can be, again, with Pallas Athena and Sag, it can be very strategic, allowing you to kind of see those pitfalls. Are you going to need fuzzy socks? Are you going to need better socks? Like all of these questions and allowing Cirrus to provide, because it's all going towards your self mastery. She can be that quiet whisper that goes, hey, hi, it's me. Hi, it's me. Yes, I look like a sickle. Thank you, it's me. Here's the thing. You did this last time. I remember I got receipts. Look, I'm in Capricorn. I got receipts. They're right here. Look at all. I got all of the receipts right here. You did this last time and you didn't enjoy it. I saw it. I got broader perspective. Let me help you through with that. And my voice is low because it is that quiet. You got to be paying attention. You got to be wanting to have that sort of conversation. It's there. It's there. But I always have felt Five of Swords. I have always felt that the goddesses, especially these asteroids and even the galactic center and Sirius and all of these other kind of um extraterrestrial, I guess I'll call them, these higher octaves of points and of energy signatures out there. You have to be willing, the Five of Swords, you have to be willing to pick up the swords and you have to be willing to listen. That's at least how they've always worked with me, where it's a conscious choice to tap in. It's a conscious choice to interpret. It's a conscious choice to allow others not to go down that path with you. Very internal. Again, I always, this Five of Swords, we've got a hermit energy here, going internal, knowing which ones to pick up, knowing what to listen to, knowing that this energy is there and you can tap into it as we go through. All right, Mars in Aquarius time. Mars will enter into Aquarius on February 13th. So we're a little ahead of the game, but with Mercury headed into Aquarius, Aquarius is about ready to get a massive cluster by the 16th because that's when Venus is going to be there. So now we've got all of this cluster energy in Aquarius. So wanting to get through kind of the Mars and Aquarian energy beforehand so we can kind of get a little preparatory thing moving here. So, Mars and Aquarius. In Aquarius, Mars can really move. Like, Mars kind of has this, it is fixed. So, there's currents and there's pathways that Mars has to utilize, but man, are they large and are they kind of everywhere. So I always looked, I got the image of Mars, I'm getting the image right now of Mars in Aquarius following electrical currents. If you've ever seen a map of fiber cables and how fiber cables are laid around the globe, that's the image they're giving me right now. If not, go to the Oracle, go to Google, look it up. They're kind of all over the place. We don't like, they're all over the place. Cabling is bizarre and wild. When I first saw it, I was like, that is not what happens underneath the ocean and the water. Like, that's really what all of this looks like. Yeah, it's really what all of it looks like. Even like satellites, right? Thinking of all of the satellites and what surrounds our globe. So Mars can move. Now he's might be fixed into these electrical currents, into where the fiber cables, so he can't like hop off into the ocean and just wreak havoc. He's fixed to kind of where those fiber cables go, but he can move and he can move fast. So it got me as I was kind of putting this all together. That was the image they just gave me. But when I was putting this together, it reminded me of Ultron from Avengers. From Avengers. Totally reminded me of Ultron, like how Ultron gathered all of that data really quickly and just was like, peace in our time, and knew exactly what to do with it. Mars and Aquarius. It's when you see in movies how they display conscious AI, and where like we just watched Transcendent, where it was like, okay, I'm online. Whoa, whole mind blown. My brain is open to everything. Let me gather all of the data. Done. Mars and Aquarius. It's sweeping, it's fast, he's efficient. Um, very intelligent, very ambitious, very enterprising. There's really great like enterprise entrepreneurial style energy here. And sometimes that's also to Mars's detriment. That's why I wanted to talk about it now, because this is, this timeline, we just don't get Mars in Aquarius, which all of those things are really great when Mars is just in Aquarius. But that's not what we're dealing with in 2024. It's not what we've got in this timeline. In this timeline, we have all kinds of ultronic energy now being paired. So we've got Mercury, we've got the Sun, we've got Pluto. 3 days later, we'll have Venus. So there is this Aquarian cluster of energy. And how does that change how Mars reacts when he is in Aquarius? He can't just get into that fiber cable and go anymore. There's other people and other energies that are present that are working with him to bring things forward. So we really want to try to remember as Mars gets into Aquarius that we want Mars as a healthy warrior. That's when Mars is most efficient for us. That's when he works the best with us as a healthy warrior. We have gone through way too much with Mars over the last 2 years to lose that now. We did a whole healthy warrior sweep. So we don't want to lose that because he's kind of not done yet. Up ahead, he's got another challenge coming. He's going to be spending extended time in Cancer. He's going to have a retrograde, Leo to Cancer. That's not his most comfortable. Okay, what are we going to do, and what things are we going to do in this Aquarian time frame to get prepared for that? So if Mars kind of has this idea, if we have this idea of what the path ahead looks like, how are we using what's available to us right now to prepare? This Aquarian cluster that we've got going on, it could cause, It could cause the energy to combust. Welcome to the tower. Tower just flew out right there. This is the moment to watch. Like, this is actually the phrase as I was going through this earlier today that it gave me. Mars can literally blow his load early. That's what I got. Don't let your Mars blow his load early and just completely combust. Like they give it to me, I repeat. That's the way that it is. Um, I definitely feel this energy is that combustion energy. And because we do have the squares to everything in Taurus, as everything's going through Aquarius, we've got the ruler, the modern ruler of Aquarius in Taurus, Uranus, and we have Jupiter making whatever this is as big as it can be. So another image that they gave me, and really it wasn't like a detailed image, it was more of that feeling of literally being stuck on a holiday with your entire family. Choose your space, choose the castle. Maybe it's in Scotland. I don't know. I've been watching a lot of The Crown, so like think about this the castle in Scotland when they're on bank holiday. Like it's being stuck on a holiday with your entire family in a house living together where you don't normally live together outside of this holiday break. How are you going to manage it over the next 2 weeks? That's Mars getting into Aquarius this time because he has to share this Aquarian energy. He has to share these fiber cables. He has to share all of this goodness with his whole family, Pluto and Uncle Pluto. Not only is it mom, dad with the sun, the moon might be, the moon, we've got the Aquarius new moon. We've got Mercury, brother. We've got Venus. Yep, the girlfriend's coming too. My love is coming. And now Uncle Pluto's here. Watch blowing your load early. Watch the tower moment. Be the observer. Stay in the healthy warrior. Excuse yourself. Take a pause. You don't have to run on Ultron speed. Just because you can doesn't mean that you should. Some things need an Ultron speed. Other things need you to pump a brake before we get to this tower, before we get to this combustion. So temper the energy. All right, that is Mars in Aquarius. Let's see if there's any other messages because the King of Swords, this is what we want. Here's our Mars in Aquarius that we want. This is what we want. We want this. Look, this King of Swords was looking directly if the tower was still here, like just this way, looking at the tower going, "Yo, no. We ain't doing that. We've come too far to come too far." Like, Mm-mm. Nope. Standing in our power, knowing what we need to do, taking the action that we need to take, speaking what we need to make sure that our needs are met because that's really what being stuck in a house for 2 weeks with your family is all about. It's about your boundaries. It's about, are you setting those boundaries? Aquarius wants everybody to be all fluffy and community oriented. That's wonderful, but not at the expense of you. How are you setting the boundaries? When things are about ready to get to that tower moment, how do you walk away, take your moment that you need, come back stronger? All right. Now on to this Aquarius new moon. So I'm so excited because I did figure out how to screen share and now I can mark on these. This is how we learn and grow, y'all. Super excited. Whoop, whoop. Runaway crystal. That was what that was. That was a runaway crystal moment. Okay. So let us level set and let me get my little drawing tool ready. So here is the Aquarius new moon. This is the chart for the new moon. It will occur at 4:59 p.m. on February 9th, and that is at Central Time. And you can see right here is where the sun and the moon are conjunct in the sign of Aquarius at 20 degrees 40 minutes. So the moon's 20 degrees 40 minutes, 20 degrees 41 arc minutes, totally fine. But it is a new moon, meaning that the sun and the moon are conjunct together. You can see that here we have Pluto in Aquarius. We already have Mercury at 7 degrees of Aquarius. We haven't quite yet gotten Mars into Aquarius, right? We just talked about Mars. That's going to be a few days, but he is moving in the direction of getting into Aquarius, and Venus is not far behind him at all, working to catch up. So all of this energy after this moon is going to push forward. So, our friend Uranus, we talked about all the Aquarian energy being square to all of the planets in Taurus. So, here is Uranus. Here is Jupiter sitting in Taurus. And you can see here, let me get my red rolling. Here is the square. Boom, to the sun. So it's a degree apart, 20 degrees here, 19 degrees here. Here is that very prominent square. There is also a trine here to Vesta, which you see up here in Gemini. I'm going to actually do a little blue for our friend Vesta because she is trining. She's at 21 degrees, sun and moon at 20 degrees. So these are the major energy players inside of this moon. So it's very interesting because I couldn't shake the feeling through this moon that even though there is a square to Uranus present, this moon is relatively quiet. There's like, it's a charge before an electrical storm. It's not the calm before the storm. To me, I heard the phrase, it's a charge before an electrical storm. It's you walk outside, for anybody that's ever lived in places that get like really strong lightning, maybe even like Tornado Alley and stuff like that, heavy hurricane areas. You walk outside and the hairs on your neck just rise. You know something is coming. You know a storm is brewing. You know something is on the horizon. It has not come through yet. And that's what I am feeling about this moon. This moon, to me, being a new moon in the position that it's in, how all of this configuration is working out, this moon to me is very internal. It's very personal. It's very intimate. It's very much so because we've got, here, look, we've got this. Let me actually make this let's do purple. We've got this upcoming conjunction right here between Chiron and the North Node in the sign of Aries. This is where we're going to have this great Chiron eclipse coming up in April. It's this, things are changing and things are about ready to happen. Another timeline is coming in. The wheel is about ready to turn. And this is that singular, it's like a singularity moment where this is the last fire in the fireplace before you turn on your AC. This is the last snowfall before spring is here. It's like the last of fill in the blank, whatever analogy is sitting well with you and you want to use for this. And that's where it comes to a very internal, a very personal, and a very intimate style moon. It's also really interesting that when you look at the energy of February as a whole, everything in February occurs after this moon. So major transits like this one, major occurrences like our friends here, Venus and Mars conjoining in the sign of Aquarius, both of them hitting Pluto and going through that process, all of that Coming in February, this sun coming into Pisces, hitting Saturn and having their conjunction, having Saturn go through that cazimi, all of this energy that's kind of moving up, moving through, all of that occurs after this moon. This moon has very much a signature of like an entry, a gateway, a catalyst that is permeating whatever messages you're getting and you're moving forward towards. So, we kind of get into February. We have 9 days before this moon to feel into our new skin. Again, you heard it in the cleaning out the broom closet. You've got Mercury in Aquarius, new skin, Pluto in Aquarius, new skin we're getting used to. Personal planet squaring Chiron right here. Look, here it is. Boom. Personal planet squaring Chiron and the North Node. Getting used to that new skin, that new reality that was brought forth, the new healing that has occurred. And we're getting used to what new ideas are present for us. Thank you, Uranus. What expansion is present for us? Thank you, Jupiter. What kind of what the new is. What is this new vibe that we are moving into? And we've probably gained a lot of clarity around that. And this moon to me is that moment where we get to be internal, personal, and intimate to help interpret what that means. That's where I see this square to Uranus being this one right here being the most impactful part of this moon, because Uranus is all about otherworldly gifts. Uranus is all about getting you creating the new from the old, getting you unstuck. So here you have clarity, you have a new skin, you have some new ideas, you have a new expansion coming through, you have all of this electrically charged energy coming in, and Uranus can be here in this square to go, whoa, 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 whoa. Let me break this apart for you. Your new skin looks great. Guess what? They gave you a little extra on the hand. We're going to go ahead and put that aside. You don't need that right now. Oh, wait, this is your new path. This is your new expansion. Hold on. Let me go ahead. Let me look at this. Wait, you know what? This boulder right here, you ain't need that. We're going to move that to the side. So Uranus can be here and it's a square, so it's going to be very present. It may not be it may be very direct, to be completely frank. It may be this one point in this moon where you've kind of like, it kind of hits you upside the head is, hey, we're not effing around anymore. This is where you need to step. This is what you need to do. Oh, you're ready to trust us now? Awesome. Let me show you what's next. Let me show you what beyond your wildest dreams actually means. So, the Jupiter, another thing that you've seen, we've got a Jupiter with Saturn here. So, this is, we've got that energy. We've got the North Node and Chiron energy. And there's a lot of things that are being figured out. This is not a moon where all things need to be figured out. You are still figuring things out, and that's okay. But again, this is where being internal, personal, and intimate can really come in clutch as you're working your way through this moon and as you get deeper into February. So take time, take the time that you need, temperance, temper your need to Mars and Aquarius, Ultron fast, everything that you're doing, getting it here, and realizing that you are on time at all times, always and always. Allow the next steps, allow understanding, allow clarity, allow guidance to come through before taking those next step forward. And this is the moon to do it in. This is the moon to temper. This is the moon to decide your next best step forward. This is the moon to have one foot in the ether, one foot on the ground, and work your way accordingly. I intuit a little bit, I get the messages I need, I put that little bit into action. Nothing more, nothing less. These cups that is holding can't hold all of the water in the world. It holds what it needs to hold in that moment. That could be the underlying and key theme of this moon. Okay, moon done. Let's head back here. And if that wasn't enough, before we head into the Twitchy tip of the week, if you are just loving the journey, love this journey that we are on, consider giving us a blessing by hitting that heart or thumbs up, subscribing, or following to our channel and exploring all of our other awesome content wherever you are choosing to watch this from. Speaking of, we also brewed up, three of cups popping out. We also brewed up two very exciting sage sessions this month. We have unraveled the threads of cosmic wisdom in our classes, getting the community together, getting back to community, which I love that the Three of Cups is here, completely guided with the ancestors present. Getting back to the wisdom and coming together as a community, as a learning and growing that Aquarian energy. The two classes that we have are Astrology and Astrovision 2024. You can find all of the details right there at www.habitualsages.com, or just Knight of Pentacles. Take that lance. Go out to the description box, go out to our profile, go check it out, go look at the website, see what offerings are there, and join in where you feel you could add value, you could gain value, and wherever you're at in your journey. So let's get to the Twitchy tip of the week, and we will get out of here. As we talked about, this is a wonderful preparatory time. And I'm even extending it beyond the Twitchy tip of the week from today all the way to this moon. From today all the way to this moon. It is a wonderful time to prep. It is a wonderful time to take stock. It is a wonderful time to identify. You don't even have to have next steps. Just identify where the gaps are. Write them down. Get the knowledge that you need. Find out some things. Do the research. Plan your next steps. What are the actions that I'm going to be taking in order to fill this gap? Don't shy away from the light. The sun is doing phenomenal things to highlight what needs to be highlighted. The Node and Chiron are doing wonderful things to show what needs to be let go of, what wounds still need to be addressed, how you have addressed the wounds, how far you've come, how things need to change. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time to prep, to use the energy for what it is, gain the knowledge you need to take action where you are being guided to. Don't shy away from the night. Hello, thank you for joining us. Is it Gigi Glomez? How are you doing? Doing free readings? Well, when you said that, the Emperor popped up for you. So here you are. Emperor energy coming out. That might mean something to you. Here's the card. There you go. You are welcome. This literally showed up right when you said you doing free readings. Here you go. Emperor energy. Take that forward. Take all of that energy forward going into that Twitchy tip of the week. Again, prep, move, guide yourself. Be the owner of your experience. Be the one to take the action. Be guided by the light. Don't shy away from the hard things and move forward in power. All right, as we wrap up this mystical journey under the moonlight, we are done. Remember to stay tuned for more cosmic revelations every Twitchy Tuesday. Until next time, may your days be filled with enchantment, your nights be guided by the stars, and your spirit forever be in tune with the cosmic dance. Keep those third eyes open, my fellow Twitchy seekers. Blessed be. Stay twitchy.